Introduction to viruses and bacteria. Viruses and bacteria are two distinct types of microorganisms that can affect living organisms, including humans. Despite some similarities in their impact on health, they differ significantly in structure, replication, and the way they cause disease. Understanding these differences is crucial for effective diagnosis and treatment of infections. Structure and composition. Bacteria are single-celled organisms with a complex structure. They have a cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material, DNA, that floats freely within the cell. Some bacteria also have additional structures like flagella for movement or pili for attachment. In contrast, viruses are much simpler and lack cellular structure. A virus consists of a core of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, encased in a protein coat called a capsid. Some viruses also have an outer lipid envelope. Unlike bacteria, viruses cannot carry out metabolic processes on their own. Replication and growth. Bacteria reproduce through a process called binary fission, where a single bacterial cell divides into two identical daughter cells. This process does not require a host cell and can occur rapidly under favorable conditions. Viruses, on the other hand, cannot replicate on their own. They must invade a host cell and hijack the host's cellular machinery to produce new virus particles. This process often damages or destroys the host cell in the process. Disease mechanisms. Both viruses and bacteria can cause diseases, but their mechanisms are different. Bacteria can produce toxins that damage host tissues or provoke a harmful immune response. They may also invade tissues and organs, causing infections such as strep throat or tuberculosis. Viruses cause disease by entering host cells and disrupting normal cellular functions. They can also cause the host's immune system to react, leading to illnesses like the flu or HIV, AIDS. Treatment and prevention. Treatment for bacterial infections typically involves antibiotics, which target specific bacterial structures or functions. However, antibiotics are ineffective against viruses. Antiviral medications are used to treat some viral infections by inhibiting the replication of viruses. Vaccines are a key preventive measure for many viral diseases, as they stimulate the immune system to recognize and fight specific viruses. For bacteria, vaccines are also available for certain bacterial infections, such as tetanus or diphtheria. Response to treatments. Bacteria can develop resistance to antibiotics through genetic mutations or acquiring resistance genes from other bacteria. This resistance can make infections harder to treat and requires careful management of antibiotic use. Viruses can also evolve and change, leading to the emergence of new strains that may evade immune responses or antiviral treatments. This constant evolution can complicate the development of effective vaccines and treatments. Role in the ecosystem. Bacteria play essential roles in ecosystems, such as decomposing organic matter, fixing nitrogen in soil, and aiding in digestion for many animals, including humans. Viruses, while often associated with disease, also play ecological roles by controlling bacterial populations and influencing microbial diversity. They can contribute to nutrient cycling and the regulation of ecosystems. Detection and diagnosis. Bacterial infections can be diagnosed through laboratory tests such as culture and sensitivity tests, which identify the presence of bacteria and determine the most effective antibiotics. Viral infections are typically diagnosed using molecular techniques like PCR, polymerase chain reaction, or through serological tests that detect viral proteins or antibodies in the blood. Conclusion. Understanding the differences between viruses and bacteria is fundamental to addressing infections and developing appropriate treatments. Bacteria are complex, self-replicating organisms with specific treatments, while viruses are simpler entities that rely on host cells for replication and require different strategies for management. Both play important roles in health and ecosystems, and ongoing research continues to enhance our ability to combat infectious diseases effectively.